Circus starts off with Yuzuru talking to Anzu in the garden terrace, asking if she knows where Tori is. He says that since Tori seems to get along with Anzu, then she might have an idea to where he might be. Anzu says she doesn't know, so Yuzuru apologises and leaves. Tori then emerges from under a table, thanking Anzu for not revealing his location. He then says that the reason he was hiding was because he had purchased a meal ticket, thanks to Anzu teaching him how to, and wanted to buy a more unhealthy meal, since he doesn't like the bentos Yuzuru makes him. He then proceeds to struggle with breaking his chopsticks apart, and demands that he sits on Anzu's lap and be fed by her. Tori then reveals that Fine is set to put on the first ever circus act in Yumenosaki history, and that he's pretty worried about it. It's just a circus act, what could possibly go wrong? In the practice room, Yuzuru wakes Tori up from a nap, who finds himself to be in a box with only his head and feet sticking out. That would be strange enough as it is, but Yuzuru is holding a chainsaw. He then says that he is practicing for the circus, with this trick being that one where you saw someone in half. Tori then accuses him of trying to kill him. Yuzuru denies this, but admits that he saw the scene earlier where Anzu was feeding Tori and was seething with rage. Tori apologises for this. Two Ink then appear out of nowhere, and Tori's like, ew, it's Ray Sakama's henchman. The twins proceed to tickle Tori in retaliation. Anzu is now with Trickstar, telling them about Fine's upcoming performance. Makoto's like, wow, congrats gal, that's so cool. But then he switches up and is like, how dare you work with the enemy, you fucking traitor. And then Mao's like, bro, you can't talk to her like that. It turns out that Anzu's pretty popular and is now in high demand. Whilst Mao and Makoto have a little bonding moment I couldn't be bothered to read, they are interrupted by Tori shrieking. Two Ink are training Tori for the performance, and he thinks they're going way too hard on him, and by that, he also means that they were booing at him every time he did something. Yuta then proceeds to say that the best way to train a mongrel is to break its spirit, which sounds like a threat of violence. He then threatens Tori that if he doesn't carry on training, Koga will beat him with a bamboo stick, to which Tori responds by pleading for them not to hit him or else he won't get married. Koga tries to play it off all cool and be like, I don't care about the circus, I'm only here because Anzu asked me to and because the twins are here, it's not like I care or anything. Yuta tells him not to beat Tori too much and leave him with too much trauma, or else he won't perform, resembling a mother on toddlers and tiaras who only cares for the well-being of her child when it affects their performance. Two Ink are opening the show, by the way, I thought I'd let you know. Yuzuru is now talking to Eiichi, informing him of Tori's practice sessions. He's worried because Two Ink are a little rough with him, and if Tori was to get hurt, he wouldn't be able to face his father. Eiichi brushes him off and calls Yuzuru overprotective. Kato then butts in and scolds Eiichi for slacking off on his student council president duties. Eiichi then proceeds to use the "I just left hospital" card on him, but Kato stands firm, reminding him that there is still stuff he can do. He then does a little tsundere thing and goes, I don't care if you collapse, it's your fault you signed up for this stupid circus with your health. He then asks Yuzuru and Wataru to stop him, but this obviously doesn't happen, or else this whole story would be a lot shorter. Yuzuru basically just says that it's his duty to obey Eiichi, and Wataru is hyped. The circus is 2 weeks away, and my guy already has his costume all ready to go. He's even wearing it now. He wants to show everyone a trick he's preparing, and before being given the okay to demonstrate, he begins to throw roses everywhere, which end up cutting Kato because they still have thorns. Noticing this, Wataru proceeds to do the reasonable thing, throw more flowers. It's okay though because they're different flowers. Kato then asks Eiichi if he could get rid of him because he's annoying, and Eiichi basically says, nah, he's cool. However, Eiichi then asks Wataru to quiet down a little bit because he's trying to concentrate on videos showing various performances for inspiration, and him screaming is a little distracting. Wataru proceeds to take this as a personal attack, asking Eiichi if he's asking him to die, to which Kato replies, yes please. Eiichi then says that whilst he was in hospital, he would watch videos of performances over and over again, and because of this he is able to repeat them from memory, and that's what he plans to do with the circus. He's very excited about this, but asks the others not to tell Tori about all of this, because he doesn't want to ruin Tori's image of him. Time flies, and Yuzuru then picks up Tori from practice, who is fast asleep. He then proceeds to call Hinata an idiot. Yuta then comes back and the two proceed to show off their skills. Yuzuru then gets some stuff thrown at him and is forced to juggle. It is now the day of the circus, and Anzu meets up with Makoto and Mao outside the tent. Makoto cowers in fear behind Mao because Koga is nearby and now he's been conditioned to fear him. Mao calls Koga over like a true friend, and Ray comes over as well, saying that he's here to support 2-Wink. By the way, Koga is holding a parasol for Ray to shield him from the sun. Ray then says that he's not really comfortable with 2-Wink opening for Fine, and even though Wataru's there, he can't really be counted as an oddball as he is now in the student council. They all talk a bit more and then go to see 2-Wink backstage. Mao then announces that he has snacks and offers them to everyone. Tori then comes out and basically does a bit of the Rainbow Circus copy pasta, announcing that he's going to show everyone why Fine is Yumenosaki's top unit. Eiichi then appears and tells Tori to stop boasting because it makes them look cheap. He then asks Anzu to continue watching over Tori, and proceeds to start coughing, a sign of things to come. 2-Wink are about to go on for the opening act. Yuta then tells Eiichi that he doesn't look too good, and asks if he's okay, to which Eiichi insists that he's fine, and compares himself to a phoenix. There's some noise going on in the distance. It's Wataru, putting on a street performance under the guise of drawing in customers. Eiichi suspects that he's just doing it because he finds it fun. Whilst the group enjoys his performance, Yuzuru appears, informing Eiichi that Kaito needs his help with the problem, and Mao goes with them. Rei, Koga, Makoto and Anzu go inside the tent to find seats. Koga complains that it's so crowded that he keeps bumping into people. He tells Anzu to hold his hand so she doesn't stumble. Makoto then asks to hold his hand as well because he's lost his glasses and can't see. Rei tells him to take the opportunity to enjoy the show, unless any incidents happen. And with that, the curtains open. The show is about to begin. 2-Wink perform their opening act, featuring juggling, acrobatics and all of that. Mao rejoins the group, announcing that there's a bit of a problem and needs their help. What's the problem? Something's gone missing. What's gone missing? A lion. There is currently an escaped lion loose in the tent, and no one knows where it is. The zookeepers can't find it, and do the very rational thing, which is to ask a bunch of high schoolers to look for it. They agree to help. Meanwhile, 2-Wink notice that something's going on, and decide to make their performance longer to buy everyone time. Tori and Yuzuru are backstage. It is revealed that Tori is meant to be doing an animal act right after 2-Wink. What really gets me is that he's more concerned about his act being cancelled and disappointing Anzu, rather than the fact that there's a whole ass lion wandering around a tent packed with people, which is extremely dangerous. Yuzuru reassures him that he's only going to be using the smaller animals, which are all present, and that Eiichi is meant to be doing an animal taming act with the lion. 2-Wink finish their initial act and intend on stalling for time. Tori figures this out and decides to go on stage anyway so he can shine. Yuzuru goes with him. Whilst they perform, Koga and Anzu are looking for the lion. They finally find it hiding in the distance behind some material. Suddenly, in the distance, they hear someone talking. "What are you afraid of, King of Beasts?" Accompanied by a fat monologue, it is none other than Eiichi Tenshoin himself, walking up to and confronting the lion, completely unbothered by the fact that he's in front of an apex predator and highly dangerous animal. Honestly, only Eiichi would do something like this. Obviously, Koga's shitting himself and goes, "What the fuck is he doing?" But he doesn't step in or anything. He just watches, which is understandable because I'd be absolutely flabbergasted if I saw this as well. Some time passes and the zookeepers are told that the lion has been found and is ready to be recaptured. Kaito arrives and asks Eiichi if he's been hurt. Eiichi says he's fine and asks Kaito to tell the zookeepers to be gentle with the lion. Kaito basically tells him to stop being silly and get on stage as the show has already started. Koga and Anzu are still standing there and then Eiichi calls them out. He then says that they both saw something embarrassing, that being him monologuing to the lion, and asks them not to tell anyone about it. With the lion found, Eiichi rejoins the rest of Fine on stage, ready to begin the main performance. Eiichi is now walking on a tightrope, and everyone's gushing over him because he's Eiichi and everyone thinks he's so cool. He then proceeds to do what he does best, that being to monologue. He basically says that he's happy being an idol and that he's fulfilling his dream, despite his frail body. It's nice and all, but my god, this man can't stop monologuing to save his life. Literally. He fell off the tightrope. This man was so caught up in his monologue that he forgot he was literally walking on a wire and proceeded to almost plummet to his death. Except he didn't. Fortunately, Wataru catches him. Eiichi then proceeds to say something along the lines of, "LMAO, you look so shocked," being happy over the fact that he has never seen Wataru make that face before. Priorities, am I right? Wataru then proceeds to jump down, carrying Eiichi bridal style, and Tori gets jealous of Wataru. The performance then continues, and then the lion appears on stage, ready for its act. The members of Fine then do their introductions, and Wataru makes a Fine pun. And with that, the circus comes to an end. Wataru proceeds to throw birds and flowers around, and the birds all flock to Tori because he's now good with animals. Fine then proceeds to sing as an encore. I don't know what song it is, but let's assume it's Rainbow Circus, as this is the song's accompanying story. Meanwhile, the others in the crowd are like, "Wow, that was such a good performance, but I can't believe we're happy for Fine." The end.